There's traction control. Take two. What's up guys, and welcome to today's video. So in this video, we're gonna be installing a new set of tires on this car. And as you can see here, we have a set of NK RPF 1s wrapped in a set of Continental Conti Pro Contact tires. Now, the reason I went with this wheel is because I actually really wanted this wheel. And I've always wanted a set of RPF 1s, especially on a dark color on this car, because I feel, dark wheels just really suit it. So I'm really happy with how these wheels turned out on this car. So these wheels are 18 by 9.5 plus 38 offset, and they're actually a 5 by 114.3 bolt pattern, and this is a 5 by 112 car. So in order to get the wheels on, I actually use wobble bolts to mount the wheels to the car. So I'll put a link to the video up in the corner here so you can go and check that out if you haven't already. You also might notice there isn't center caps on there yet. Those are going to be coming soon, but first I wanted to take care of the tires because it's almost winter and I really love to drive this car really hard in the winter. And so that's kind of why I sort of went with the RPF 1s, because they're a really lightweight wheel. And in that video that I linked there, it also shows the weight difference of the wheel. So the factory wheels are quite heavy, but the RPF 1s are known as a really lightweight wheel. So that's what I wanted to go with for the winter. Now I know it's a little bit sacrilegious to put such a nice wheel on the car for the winter, but the winter is when it gets driven the hardest. And so I just figured it makes the most sense. And I mean, here in Canada, you've got your winter set up on for 8 months of the year, and cars got to look good for the 8 months as well. So we're going to be trying out a new winter tire on this car. And as you can see from the title, we're going to be trying out the Nexen Winguard Winspike 3. So that's a brand new winter tire just released for the 2023 season. So I really wanted to try out the Nexen tire just because it's a really well-priced winter tire. And I've also tried out tons of different winter tires on this car, which I will maybe put a list on the screen so you can see kind of all the tires that I've tried that I'm going to be benchmarking the Nexen tire against. The Continental Conti Pro Contacts are an all-season tire, and I just got them with these wheels because that's what was on them. It's an all-season tire, but I would more accurately call it a no-season tire. Now, the Winspike 3 is a studdable winter tire. However, I'm going to be going with the non-studded option because the roads are usually dry, 90% of the time, even in the winter. So there's really no point in throwing studs in there unless you're driving on ice, most of the time, which thankfully we're not. Another reason that I decided to go with the studless setup is because all the previous winter tires that I've had on this car have been studless as well, so I wanted to keep this test as controlled as possible. Now this car is an all-wheel drive 6-speed manual. Obviously the tires are going to react differently with different cars, different drivetrains, but I just figured I'd give you guys a real-world test. That's kind of what the theme has been of some of my videos. I have sold wheels and tires professionally for 4 years, and I've been doing it personally for over 10 years, so I have quite a bit of experience with wheels and tires now. It's endless though. There's always more to learn, and that's why I want to try the Nexen tire to see kind of what we end up with. But this way it will give you guys a good representation of getting into kind of a mid-range price tire versus the higher end tires. And like I showed in the list earlier, I've tried like the Toyo Observe GSI 5 and GSI 6, Toyo G3 Ice, Bridgestone Blizzak, Nokian Hakkapeliitta, different versions of those. So I've tried some of the higher end winter tires, and so I really wanted to try the Winspike 3 just to see how that tire compares to some of the more expensive tires. I want to give a massive shout out to Innovative AutoWorks for sponsoring today's video. If you guys are looking for wheels and tires and you're located in Canada, definitely check out innovativeautoworks.com. And if you have a dually truck, check out duallywheels.ca. I'll leave links down in the description so you guys can check them out. Thanks again to Innovative AutoWorks for sponsoring today's video. Let's hop into the car, let's drive over to Innovative AutoWorks, and let's get these tires installed. Okay, so what we have here is the Nexen Winguard Winspike 3. And as you can see, it is a very nice sipey winter tire, and it has holes in there for the studs as well. So they are studdable, but we're gonna go with the non-studded option to just kind of compare against the other tires. Now again, this is not supposed to be a super scientific test. This is just a real world test, my experience. And so we will go ahead and see what we end up with. We're putting these on the car right now, and I will update you guys when we have them installed. right, so we got the end keys and the winter tires installed, and they look freaking sweet. Super happy with how they turned out. They look really good on the car with those wheels, and I'm just really happy with how this thing turned out with these tires. This is exactly the winter setup I was dreaming of, so super stoked on that. I got rid of the blue aluminum valve stems and I went with these rubber stubby ones, and that's just for a few reasons. The first thing is that the blue end key valve stems just bothered the hell out of me. They just didn't match with the existing wheel color there or anything else on the car, so now that they have the black valve stems, it just looks a lot cleaner in my opinion. And the second more important reason is that these don't leak, whereas the aluminum valve stems are known to leak quite often, and in the wintertime we definitely don't want to be dealing with that. So we got the stubby rubber valve stems on there, and I'm really happy with how that looks. I know it's like a super subtle difference, but to me it makes a huge difference. These are the aluminum valve stems we just took out. Not a fan of those, not gonna lie, so I'm glad those are out now. All right guys, so it's been a few weeks now and we have the tires all installed on the car, and we also have finally some winter weather. So we got some snow on the ground. It's finally cold out and we got ice underneath the snow. So this should provide us with a really good, accurate representation of how these tires are gonna perform in a real world winter environment. If you guys are unaware, this is Alberta, Canada. So we've got pretty much winter for 6 to 9 months of the year. And another thing, did get some headway on the bodywork. So I got another video coming out on the bodywork for this thing, which will include installing that hatch, and the last bodywork video did really well. So thank you guys so much for subscribing, liking, watching, commenting, sharing, all that good stuff, and I will definitely have another video coming out for you here soon. Let's get the car warmed up, get it out in the snow, and see how these Nexen Winguard Winspike 3s act in the snow in the Canadian winter. Let's go. And we're off. So I'll give you guys my first impressions here. Just driving in the back alley, and everything feels pretty normal. I'm gonna nail the brakes. Okay, not bad. As you guys just saw, this alley is all ice underneath, so any kind of good performance is a positive, I would say. The roads are extremely slippery. Like it's bad, actually. It's a good time to do this video because the snow just fell last night. Okay, so on the roads are pretty slushy, so it's not too bad over here, but it definitely instills some confidence in the drive. I have some experience with the Bridgestone Blizzak, the Nokian Hakkapeliitta, the Toyo Observe. Those are kind of the 3 primary tire brands that are the highest performers in the market. So that's kind of what I'm benchmarking against. I just want to see kind of how these Nexens compare to those tires. They are about 35% cheaper than the higher performing tires. And so one of the main reasons that I wanted to try this tire is that it's a brand new tire. Nexen is a really well priced brand in the market, and they're also a reputable brand. So I kind of wanted to go between a combination of performance and price. So that's kind of how I arrived at the Nexen. I do want to make clear that I actually chose this tire myself. This was my choice. I'm not being paid by Nexen for this video or anything like that. I wish. Maybe Nexen, if you guys are watching this, you guys should sponsor me. If you guys like this kind of content, if you guys want to see more real world tests, reviews, products, that kind of stuff, definitely hit the like and subscribe button so that I know, and then that way that gives me an idea that, you know, this kind of content is something that you guys are interested in. The bodywork video did really well, so that tells me, you know, that video is actually a good performer and that I should maybe make another one. Give it a bit of gas on the corner here. Second gear. Oh, she's slippery for sure, but very predictable. It caught grip pretty much right away after I let go of the throttle. So that's another thing I want to say about these tires is my initial thoughts about them is that they are very predictable in both ice and snow so far. On the ice, they're quite predictable, and these are the non-studded version, keep in mind. So if you end up going with a Winspike 3 with studs on them, that will give you a lot more ice traction. But again, I wanted to kind of do it without studs to get a benchmark against all the other studless tires that are on the market, and that I think gives me a more accurate comparison. And based on what I've heard, people are kind of starting to lean towards the studless tires now because the tech is there. They are good, reliable tires, and studs make a ton of noise on dry pavement. So if you're driving your car in the dry, it's almost pointless to put studs on it because they're just going to make noise, and you know, some areas it's not even legal to have studs. It really just depends. I love these tires as studless so far. They're handling pretty good, but we're definitely going to have to do some more rigorous testing, if you will.
A few moments later.
Much fun. Yesterday we did some hard acceleration and some braking tests. I know that most people are not going to be, you know, launching their cars from the light, but that test was kind of just to sort of see where the limit of the tire is, and they feel very similar to a lot of the other winter tires that I've tried. Yeah, I mean, there's slush on the ground. I'm driving the car reasonably hard, and I have no worries about the car losing its footing. Like, I feel very confident driving on these. I'm going to attempt to do some emergency maneuvering if I can find. Most of these roads are starting to look a little bit cleared up now. There is some snow on the roads here actually, so I think that we'll be able to do some, there is enough snow to upset the car for sure. So I'm going to try to get some clips of that, cornering maybe, and then we're going to go have some fun hopefully with it, and hopefully not break anything. My way of testing winter tires is pushing them past the limit and seeing how quickly I can regain traction once the traction has been lost. We're on some snowy roads now. Ooh, very predictable. Feels very good, these tires. I'm very happy with them so far. It's very controllable. It doesn't seem to give me any weird surprises. So I'm just leaning into the throttle a little bit, counter steering back, and boom, right straight back onto center. So I mean, upsetting the balance of the car doesn't even phase it at all. And I mean, these roads are reasonably slick. It's all snow, it's not ice here. I got my heartbeat raised a little bit from that. So just enough to inspire that little bit of fun and thrill, but very controllable. And that's exactly what I look for in a tire. I'm glad I was able to catch that on camera, because that was like a real, I didn't clutch kick it, I didn't hit the e-brake at all. I just kind of accelerated into second gear, and it just kind of just did its thing. And now I'm at the back lot of Innovative Auto Works. Looks like this is a good surface to do some testing. If you watched the previous video, you will know, or you might remember, that Mr. Jesse Schinkel is looking for a set of 29-inch bogger tires. And so what I'm here to do is order those. And also do some tire testing for you guys, because I have some area here where I can sort of try out some stuff. And the surface again is like, there's ice, and then there's like snow on top of it. So we're gonna use this as our little testing area. And this should give us a really good representation of a slippery ass road, basically. And there's the Wago. Look how she looks. I love that car. And I love these wheels too. Predictable. It actually doesn't want to slide as easily as I thought. There is quite a bit of ice. There we go. Yeah, it feels very, I mean, when I let go of the throttle, it now let's do some donuts. video has been brought to you by Innovative Autoworks. I want to give Innovative Autoworks a massive thank you and a massive shout out for sponsoring today's video. If you guys need any wheels or tires for your car, truck, dually, golf cart, race car, anything you guys can imagine, Innovative Autoworks is your place. Now, Innovative Autoworks is located in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And so if you guys are located in Canada, I guarantee you this is one of the best places that you're gonna find wheels and tires. The guys here know their shit. I'm telling you, they know everything about wheels and tires. This is your place to go. And once again, I wanna give a massive shout out to Innovative Autoworks for sponsoring today's video. I think it's now a good opportunity to take the car out of the city a little bit where the snow is a little bit thicker. Okay, so I found this super icy road. So this pretty much is all ice kind of underneath the tires. So this is a good sort of idea of, gives me a good idea of the braking. And I mean, like I said before, so I'm nailing the brakes now. From like, that was probably from like 20K an hour, but let me get a little bit more speed. So 50 kilometers an hour, hard on the brakes. That's not too bad, at least on this spot here. But I mean, it'll still slide against any ice. Any tire is gonna, so that's me nailing the brakes again. So any tire is really going to slide on ice. It's gonna be really hard to find a tire that won't unless you've got studs. So studs will help with that kind of stuff. But yeah, so right here is a little bit more sliding. So I'm gonna try accelerating now. I'm gonna stop and then I'm gonna just, in first gear, I have no traction control, but I'm gonna try to take off as if I was going from a traffic light. So here we go. Yeah, so I'm definitely feeling some slip, but I mean, no real trouble or struggle to get the car to move. Okay guys, let's see if this works. It's hella windy and hella cold. I'm gonna do a little acceleration test for you. I have a microphone clipped to my shirt, but I'm assuming the signal will cut off here when I drive away, but I guess we'll see. Okay, I'm gonna just kind of go kind of hard. So you can see some wheels spin. Yeah, it says the microphone's still connected, so that's kind of cool. Okay. So I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna try to hit 50K an hour, and that won't happen actually, but here's me nailing the brakes pretty hard. Let's do a couple more of those. It looks like the camera audio, or that microphone audio, is actually gonna reach this far away, which is really cool, if it does. 30K an hour, 40, 50 almost, okay. It's me nailing the brakes. I'm gonna try to go even further away and see if I can get up to 50K an hour here. Might not be the best place to keep the camera. I'm actually going uphill now that I look at it. But let's see. I'm gonna get the tires on the accelerated driver. And hard on the brakes. Full on brakes, full on brakes, full on brakes. And we stopped. Okay. Past the camera. Hello. Okay. So I'm gonna do just normal acceleration. And yeah, no trouble. This is me hard on the brakes and the car's sliding. So obviously on ice, studs are gonna help a lot, but the car acts very reasonable. I'm gonna do a hard launch now. So now let's go get on the highway and see how that looks and feels. All right, so we're on the highway now. I'm turning my traction control on. And under hard boost, it definitely is kicking on, and it feels good. Oh shit, actually, I think I'm supposed to go this way. So as you saw, I just went over like a little bit of a snow pile on the highway there. I actually pressed my brakes too, and like, I mean, like no issue. So that's actually a real world scenario where I just missed my turn because I'm talking to the camera, which is kind of my fault, and I shouldn't do that. This off-ramp looks pretty icy, and if I sort of try to upset the balance of the car, I can definitely feel it wanting to slide, but the Nexens are really holding on to the road really good here. Oh, there's traction control. I have to like try to engage traction control, which tells me that the tires are doing their job. So we're gonna merge here. Slow down a bit here just because it's looking a little icy. But yeah, no, I hope this gives a good representation of like a winter conditions. There's a ton of snow and wind and stuff. So now we're starting to exit the city. So the roads are going to start to get a little bit worse. We're doing 110 here on the highway and it feels good. In-car footage of me driving around this area. So this is all just like thick snow, and I just kind of want to show you guys kind of definitely slippery, and it's easy to get the car to slide, but I can also very easily control it when I'm kind of sliding it around, and it's very like, you know, it goes where I want it to go. So I'm pretty happy with it, the way it reacts when I'm actually, I can't even talk, but I think you know what I'm trying to say. When I'm sliding around in the thick snow, yeah, no, the car is very reactive to driver inputs. You know, everything that I'm telling the car to do, it's doing. Yes, it's slippery, and yes, you gotta drive careful, but final thoughts. Let me plug in my microphone. So yeah, final thoughts. You know, I think that these tires are very comparable to the, you know, higher end things like the Toyos, the Bridgestones, the Nokians, and I'm quite happy with them as of now. They've inspired a ton of driving confidence for me driving, and I have absolutely no complaints right now. We'll see kind of how they go over time, but I mean, for now, even on the highway and everything, like, they feel great. And no, I'm just repeating myself over and over again. We are back in the garage here with the car just after driving it out there in the snow, and you can see the front wheel here is absolutely just caked with snow. Everything all considered, I want to say that I am very, very impressed with these Nexen Winguard Winspike 3s. I do recommend them. I hope that this helps somebody out. If this video did in fact help you and you gain some value or knowledge from this, you know the drill, guys. Please make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. I've got lots more content coming on the car itself, so if you're an Audi Volkswagen person, this is your channel. So yeah, if you guys have any knowledge, information, experiences to share, if you guys got any crazy stories from your winter driving experiences, leave them down in the comments below. I'm curious to hear, have any of you guys tried the Winspike 3? Let me know your thoughts on them, how they compare to other tires you've tried. Once again, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you Innovative Autoworks for sponsoring, and we will get back to work on the Audi here real soon, and I will be back with some more content. Keep it locked, stay safe out there on the roads. Make sure that you guys have proper winter tires on your cars if you're driving in the winter. Road safety is something that's really important to me. Stay out of the left lane unless you're passing, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next video.